decide for our own how we want to move forward. How do we want to continue living our life? Do we want to live in the uncertainty and the crisis, or do we want to go into thriving and be in the oasis? So that's why I help people transition from crisis to oasis and find that spot that is like rocking your life. And it's like, I'm good no matter what. I'm moving forward. Bring it adversity. I can handle it. And I'm going to rock this life.
Hey everyone, it's Amy Lynn Durham, and you're listening to Create Magic at Work. Create Magic at Work is on a mission to equip senior leaders with tools they need to be a true quantum leader and actually understand what that means. Improve employee engagement, retain top talent, and transform your workplace culture to have less drama and stress. So let's start making magic. Welcome to another episode of Create Magic at Work. Today, I am so excited to bring you this guest. She's a healer. Her name is Denise. She's the founder of Motion Coaching. And the cool thing about Denise is she's a serenity expert and a positive intelligence specialist. So I'm excited to dive into that. We talk about multiple intelligences on the Create Magic at Work podcast, but we have not talked about positive intelligence yet. So I'm excited to get into that. Over the last 40 years, Denise has been immersed in all areas of health and wellness. She's been practicing mindfulness and meditation since she was a teenager. Wow, that's amazing. She's developed great skills in the discipline of emotional and mental fitness. Denise is extremely excited to be working in the mental fitness and positive intelligence field and have a deeper understanding of people's mindsets and how her clients can gain better control over their emotions and behaviors. I am excited to offer Denise's wisdom to the Create Magic at Work listeners. Denise, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Can you start off just telling the listeners a little bit more about you, what you do, how you can help them as leaders in the workplace from a positive intelligence perspective?
Yes, absolutely. I've learned, my deeper story, as it says in my bio, I started about 40 years ago to do meditation and introspection and looking in and learning about health and wellness. But really my big breakthrough was about 25, 30 years ago when emotional intelligence came in, and a lot of leaders know about emotional intelligence. It's been the big brouhaha when it started and everybody was teaching it. And I immersed myself into that. And I found that it was very useful to, as you all know, like the way it works, like understanding your emotion, the emotion other, better communication and better interaction with people. But when I found positive intelligence to me is like the cherry on the cake of emotional intelligence, because what positive intelligence does is, yes, it's nice to recognize your emotion. It's nice to recognize that you are in an emotion and recognize the other. But the cherry on the cake is like, what if you were to put a field force in front of you that emotion doesn't affect you? Like that emotion doesn't come into your mind anymore. So that would allow you to really be in total control of the situation that are in front of you. And for leaders, I mean, that's the ultimate, because you don't want to be affected by everything that's coming out around you. You're the leader. You're the one that shows how to do things and for people to follow you, or depending which type of leadership you are, whether you're behind them, supporting them, or you're leading. But if you can be totally control of your emotion and stop these, I like to say like action reaction, like you have like a push button, right? And then you have a reaction. But if you could put a buffer into that and make it so that you have a time of, a space and time, and it's like, I am not going to react to this. I choose not to have that emotion, because with practice, you can achieve that. So then it makes you very much in control, and it allows you to become a better leader, because you will be able to have a perspective that is not led by your emotion, but by your understanding of the situation, your heart, but not so much reacting to situation.
I'm curious, when we have something occur in our field, in our energy field, let's say, and we have an emotion to it in the workplace, maybe we're triggered. We've talked about separating reaction from response.
Yeah.
I'm not going to react. I'm going to have a buffer between and have a different response to
Mm-hmm.
this. How do we keep from shoving our emotions down and not feeling what we need to feel in a positive way when we're doing
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm. Like the way we explain in positive intelligence is that, yes, we have emotion, but to stay in that emotion for more than a couple of minutes is not beneficial for your well-being. It's good to recognize, if at some point, if you get, it's almost like if you put your hand on a hot plate, then you're like, oh, wow, that's hot. You're not going to leave your hand on that hot plate and say, oh my goodness, this is so hot. I can't believe how hot it is. I'm so upset that I'm burning my hands. But that's what happens when we have a negative emotion and we don't get out of it. So what we learn is to recognize the emotion and then taking a step back and say, I don't want to be there because it hurts. Mm-hmm. But the longer for example, the hot plate, the longer you leave your hands on the hot plate, the longer it will take to heal because the burn will be deeper. And eventually people that have lived with their hand on the hot plate, let's continue that example, mm-hmm. are scarred for life. And it takes a long time to heal those scars. But if you are able to realize right away that you're in a situation where it's going to hurt, then right away you can make that switch, recognize the emotion, acknowledge it and say, yeah, this is really difficult right now. Have the self-compassion to acknowledge that and say, okay, how can I get a positive outcome out of that? What is the gift into that situation?
Yeah. Who do I want to be in this situation?
How do I want to show up in life?
Yeah. And it's tough sometimes to, I mean, if you're upset or if you're angry, sometimes it's like, I'm just, yeah. So having that buffer between reaction and response, I think, is a really great tip to just kind of think about. I have a couple more questions for you for this quick fire interview. The other question is, I noticed that you mentioned that you like to work with professionals in their 50s and up who feel like they're on a hamster wheel of a new normal. I'm curious. I'm not quite there yet. I used to be the young person in the corporate world. And now I think me and a lot of my former colleagues from my corporate executive days are moving towards that space. Yeah. So I'm wondering what you're referring to.
Well, if we see that the way life has been the last 3 years, we can hide it. We've all been immersed in it. And there's so many changes that had happened. And then what I realize is a lot of people that I've seen and talked to, they kind of create a new normal. Zoom, they don't want to get out of the house. They're comfortable wearing their pajama pants with a suit on. And they, as soon as the meeting ends, they take they put the pajama top on. I'm exaggerating, but it's
that happens. Yeah.
We can imagine that very easily. And it's a groove that we've been used to and not feeling comfortable in social situation. If we do go back to work, we lost that energy of working in a group, working in an office, working among people. And my goal is to really help people break out that pattern and to re-socialize the workforce, to make it so that when people are meeting face to face, it's not uncomfortable. People don't know how to say hello anymore. Do we shake the hand? Do we still give the elbow? They don't know. And it makes situation a bit uncomfortable because some are really comfortable with that and some others are not. So that's what I talk about, the new hamster wheel of the new normal. Mm-hmm. And we've been conditioned. 3 years is a long time to be conditioned into a situation. So now we have to decide for our own how we want to move forward. How do we want to continue living our life? Do we want to live in the uncertainty and the crisis, or do we want to go into thriving and be in the oasis? So that's why I help people transition from crisis to oasis and find that spot that is like rocking your life. And it's like, I'm good no matter what. I'm moving forward. Bring it adversity. I can handle it. And I'm going to rock this life. Right. So that's my goal when I work with my clients.
Yeah. I love that you're talking about adversity and understanding that going through maybe some chaos can lead to say what you said, an oasis. I often, in some of the spaces that I play in, like Instagram, in the spiritual space, I witness at times a lot of leadership type spiritual bypassing, just say this positive affirmation and everything in your life will change. Mm-hmm. Or often blaming, oh, well, you weren't high vibe enough, and so now you're going through XYZ, right? What would you say from a positive intelligence perspective? What would you say to someone that is maybe going through a hard time in their work or life or transitioning, and maybe they're starting to do some self-blame? What would you say to them?
I would say that whatever happened in the past, you can't change it. I've tried. I've tried to change events of the past, but I couldn't change them. So all we can do is be present to the moment and say, it's all good. And I actually have a cup to show it. It's all good. And that's my motto. It's all good. Because you can, sometime when we live in adversity or stress or bad adventure, let's put it however we want to call that, we stay there and we try to, what if I've done that, and what if I've done something differently, or what if that person didn't do that, and that's their fault. But once you start to take full responsibility for your life, once you've decided that I can't change the past, all I can do is be present right now and make the best of it, then that will allow you to look for gift. Like, what's the gift? Sometimes the gift would be, give me a chance to, let's say you get fired, for example, give me the chance to find the better job. It'll give me a chance to explore new avenue. Give me a chance to do that thing that I always wanted to do, but because I was comfortable in my old shoes in that job, that I was not reaching it. And once you reach that, often you will look around you and you ask people that's been through adversity, what do you think of that? And I say, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. We hear that a lot, but once we're in it, once you're in the soup, you don't really feel that. But have the open mind to say that I'm open for beautiful things to come to me in the future.
Mm-hmm. I
And
love
once
that.
you do that, like you're in action, you go search other things. It's not going to happen if you sit on your couch and do nothing, as you mentioned, right? Like things, it's not just by saying affirmation, mantra all day long that it's going to happen. You have to have that feeling that you're doing the right step, that you're going in the right direction. And once you have that feeling and you see your future, you see where you're going, then there's a lot more chance that whatever you want to accomplish will accomplish.
And that there's two things I want to comment on that. First is noting that you pointed out that often when we go through tough times that feel muddy, that's what's coming up for me right now. The knowledge that this too shall pass, and that we often see those around us that have been through difficult moments look back and say that was the best thing that ever happened to me. So hope and faith over worry and fear. I really love that message. And leaving the past behind, because revisiting it is just revisiting those feelings, and it's gone. And what you have is today, and you have the future to build for yourself. Yeah. So instead of focusing on, I always say this on the show, on archaeology, let's focus on architecture.
Ooh, I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah. So I ask every guest what they feel quantum leadership is, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on quantum leadership, if you have any.
Yeah, sure. What I know about quantum, is like I study a lot of Joe Dispenza, and he talks a lot about quantum physics and his way of thinking. And I read all his book, and actually I listened to them more than I read them, because whenever I do activity, I would put them on. I listen to them at least 2-3 times, each of them. And for me, when I hear that quantum leadership, it means that to stay positive, to have hope, not even hope, but to see yourself in the future as you have succeeded, see yourself or your company or whatever you want to lead forward. is an individual can lead his own life. I'm the leader of my life. And to see myself where I want to be, feel that emotion of what I want to feel, and act as if I was there, just like, hey, I had an amazing day today. I closed up, amazing clients, and I feel excited and it's so cool, and have that energy just as if you just did it, and visualize on that and in your leadership and in the way you want to lead your life and your business, and bring that emotion. Often that's what's missing, is the emotion of living that life right now, but living the future life in your mind.
Oh my, such a beautiful answer. Thank you for offering that. I was just thinking, the future hasn't occurred. So why cast a vision that's based off of worry and fear? Why not cast the vision of all of these beautiful things you just casted for us? I don't even know if that's a word.
When we do that, because people say, yeah, sure, whatever. But what happens when we do that is that you're building new neurological connection in your brain, that your brains become a new pathways. It becomes the easier route to go. It becomes a way you want it to happen. And the more you see yourself in that future, the more you feel in the emotion, the stronger the neurological pathway will be. And that will lead you towards an easy path with the energical life that, attracting whatever is coming to your way. You will attract it a lot easier if your brainwave are aligned with the universe and what you really want to create.
Yeah, you start aligning with that future self.
Yeah.
For me, is like where science meets spirituality. So yeah. Well, Denise, thank you so much for being a guest on the Create Magic at Work podcast. Can you let everyone know how they can connect with you if they want to reach out and learn more?
Yes, absolutely. There's you can send me an email. It's my name, Denise at DeniseBelisle.com, and it's going to be in the show notes if you don't have to spell that. And also you're welcome. Like I'll give you a link. It's complicated to give links, but I'll give you a link for people who want to book a time with me. So it's tiny.cc/talk with Denise, I think. So, but I'll give you that link. So if you want to have a talk with me, I'm always open to discover new people and see how, I can support you in any way I can.
Thank you so much. We'll put all that in the show notes, and thank you for offering your wisdom to everyone today. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Amy Lynn Durham here. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. All the show notes and links can be found at createmagicatwork.net, or you can just look in the show notes in the episode and they're right there for you. Come back each week and make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Keep joining us for more exciting episodes where we help you transform workplace culture to leaders that create less drama and stress and have high productivity and profitability. You have the power to create a burnout-free workplace right now. You can gain access to my new course, Create a Burnout-Free Team and Workplace, where you'll receive step-by-step tutorials in creating a team and organization that thrives. Click the link in the show notes to join us. I hope we brought a little magic to your day. Sending magic to everyone, and see you next time.